All right, so here we go. 40 years old, have ulcerative colitis for approximately half of my adult life. Been on every medication they could possibly throw at me with very limited success. Um, Paint cars for a living, so just on a random call one day, training automotive painter, he mentions this keto diet. Never heard nothing about it, thought it was the craziest thing I ever heard. I got no farther into researching it than may help with gastrointestinal issues. Boom, I was in, figured I was going to give it 8 weeks. I would say right off the bat, within 2 or 3 days, I started noticing inflammation going down, joint pain going down, less visits to the bathroom. Still thought it was nuts. And then one random Friday, about a month or two in, I go to grab the medication that I've been taking every single day of my adult life, staring at the bottle and realize it's been over a week since I've taken this stuff. I've literally forgot to take my medication. So I look at my wife and I tell her, you know what? I'm going to see how long I can ride this out. Figured I might get a good 2 weeks out of it. You know, I've been sick for a long time. I know what my body feels like when things are getting worse. So let's just ride this out and we'll call it a victory. If I can make it 2, 3 weeks, you know, I got a doctor's appointment coming up in a couple months. And just see how it goes. That was over 500 days ago as of today. So stepping back a little bit, knew I had this doctor's appointment coming up, knew there was going to be labs, knew there was going to be a colonoscopy. So I said, you know what, if we're going to do this, we're going to try to break it and we're going to push as hard as we can. So from that day, it was, I believe, in February, I went strict red meat carnivore, nothing but top sirloins, a little bit of coffee, some water, and very, very rarely some chicken and some pork. 3 meals a day, meat and water. Like I said a second ago, if I figured if something's gonna go south, we're gonna make it go south. Fast forward 6 months, I'm sitting in my doctor's office, literally shaking like I was about to get reprimanded by the principal at school. Walk in there, usual appointment. Guy never even looks at me, typing away on his computer, asks if I'm still taking my medication. I say no. For the first time ever, he stops typing and looks at me and he says, "Why?" I told him I'm fine. He said, "Who told you to stop?" I said, "I did." He was like, "Well, I wouldn't recommend you stopping." I said, "I understand that, and I'm not a doctor. However, I've never felt better. My digestion is fine. My bowel movements are fine. The energy is up. Joint aches are gone." And then he asks what I'm doing, and I tell him, which, as you can imagine, did not go well. He immediately sends me out for labs and wants to schedule a colonoscopy ASAP, to which I replied, "Let's do it. We'll do the colonoscopy tomorrow. I really don't care." So a week later, I'm doing my prep, which ironically, you know, colonoscopy prep is you drink a bunch of stuff like by the gallon to clean you out. Most effortless prep ever. It was, well, dare I say, comfortable under the circumstances, but it was the easiest thing I've ever done compared to years past. I've been through this quite a bit. Going for my colonoscopy, one nice thing is they were getting me ready for the surgery. The nurses were commenting that they rarely ever get to see people that take care of themselves, that actually look healthy, that come in to do these things. So that, you know, that was kind of a nice thing to hear. So go through the colonoscopy, sitting there getting my results. I'm obviously tapped out because I'm still under. They give my wife all the results. We head home. You know, when I finally come to, I ask her, you know, nervous as hell, like what happened, what's going on? And she said, honestly, she's like, nothing. There's nothing going on. She's like, all the damage to your intestines have completely reversed themselves. Your insides look normal. If you were to go to a random doctor and just say, "Hey, I want you to check me out," and they did another colonoscopy, they would find absolutely nothing wrong with you. Cleanest results I've ever had in my 18 years of having this disease. And I don't know, if that doesn't say much, I really don't know what does. Since then, I've just kept going. I'd say now I'm about 90% carnivore, only because I won't go to much effort to prepare my own veggies, but if some are presented to me, I'll take a few bites. But the majority of my intake is still local, 100% grass-raised, pastured beef from a ranch about 90 miles north of where I live. Pick it up by the cow because it just works out better that way. And That covers about 90% of my food intake, and I've honestly never felt better. I'm doing great. 40 years old now, up to almost 180 pounds, easily maintaining low teens body fat percentage without issue. Quite literally in the best health of my life. I just turned 40, was kind of waiting for to get that whole ribbing about turning 40 and over the hill from all my friends and family, and it was actually kind of funny because no one can say anything. They all know and they can all tell that I've never been healthier. I've never looked healthier. You know, hit the gym 4 times a week. I'll do just crazy random stuff because I can now. It was a 5K running past my house. Got the letter in the mail. I signed up completely untrained on a Friday night at about midnight with a screaming newborn in my hands for a 5K Sunday morning. Ran my first ever untrained 5K in about 25 minutes. Hopped on board with a couple buddies to climb a mountain in South Texas. Never hiked a day in my life. 10-mile round trip hike, 2,500 feet of elevation, 7,000 feet at the top. Hiked all the way up and down that thing without a problem. The energy is there. The will to live is there. The drive is there. I've never felt better. I literally feel unstoppable. And like I tell my friends, I feel like I'm a superhuman version of my previous self. There's no going back. This stuff works. You can't convince me otherwise. I still have family and friends that think I'm nuts, but they can't deny, and they'll ask questions and just kind of hint around at what I'm doing, and you could tell they're intrigued, but they're not ready to take on their own journey, and I'm not anyone to force them to do anything they don't want to do. So I just do what I do, and it seems to be working. A lot of people commenting on my pictures and my accomplishments, and I take every one of it, and man, I credit it all to one random day. Bumped into an automotive painter as I was training him on a new paint process. Changed my life. That was 3 years ago as we speak. Still med free. Travel all around the world. Travel all around the country for work. Stay strict the whole time. Eat out at restaurants, which is supposedly really bad for us. With ulcerative colitis. No problems. Bounced back from a few bouts of food poisoning and stomach flu. 100% med free. Just suffer a little bit, fast it out, right back on the wagon, and no issues, man. There is no going back for me. This is my life now, and this is how I will proceed forward because I'm not going back to medications. I'm not going back to the life I lived before. Thank you very much.